Word is now that DoorDash has bought Caviar, the Caviar employees are immediately getting screwed by the company. Who would have thought?
Xbox,
Twitter, Uber,
Postmates,
Netflix, MoviePass,
Google, Facebook, eBay,
DoorDash,
Apple, Amazon, Airbnb,
The Apptrepreneur. Hey everyone, this is Kevin the Apptrepreneur, and when DoorDash bought Caviar, I got on this channel. I wasn't sitting in the booth, I wasn't in the kitchen, I wasn't on a walk, I was driving to Sacramento, and the story upset me so much that I actually had Katie live stream me while I was driving on the 5 freeway heading to Sacramento, and I was livid because Caviar, out of all the gig apps out there, was undeniably my favorite. It worked the best for drivers. It paid the best. It worked the way it was supposed to. You were a true independent contractor. And when DoorDash, the company who is anti-ethical, anti-everything Caviar was, let's put it that way, bought them, I was like, oh no, this is bad. Caviar is never going to be the same again. Now, granted, right now the Caviar app still operates for drivers as is. Unfortunately, if you work for Caviar, you are already starting to see some of the negative side effects of having your new owners be DoorDash. But before we talk about any of that, let's have a word from our sponsors. Times are changing for gig workers and the gig economy, and there are a lot more gigs from a lot more companies than there used to be. That's why when people ask me where they can go to find resources for the gig economy, I recommend gigworker.com. At this site, you can see what other gig workers are doing and discover better opportunities from industries, companies, resources, and even a forum where you can talk with other people in the gig economy. Gigworker.com is a great resource site, whether you work for Uber, Lyft, Postmates, DoorDash, TaxRabbit, Thumbtack, Upwork, whatever. There's a gig for you and there's a forum for you on gigworker.com. Gigworker.com for all your gigs. Caviar employees claim DoorDash and Square are mistreating them over acquisition offers. So, a group of Caviar employees has banded together to request a good faith renegotiation from DoorDash and Square, claiming mistreatment in the job transition process as DoorDash finalizes its plan to acquire Caviar from the payment company. In a letter provided to The Verge, anonymous Caviar employees say DoorDash and Square did not offer them fair compensation packages in regard to unvested shares and upcoming promotions that were formerly on the Caviar financial cycle. The workers also claimed that DoorDash would not initially allow employees to discuss the status of their work visas with immigration lawyers until they signed the unnegotiated offers. That, by the way, is shady. That is shady. I've got mixed feelings about, the whole immigration situation. I want you to be here legally. But here's one of the things. I'm definitely happy that these people are here trying to be here legally. And then for companies, DoorDash, to be holding that over their heads. Like, hey, that whole green card thing, it might not work out as well. We need you to, kind of agree to our terms, or we might not, things like that are very, very shaky, in my opinion. The stance has since been reversed. Well, good for them. But the group claims a number of employees signed offers without consulting lawyers for fear they would risk their right to stay in the company. Sorry, not the company, the country. Yeah, see, very shady, very wrong. If they're here trying to be here legally, they deserve to go through the process. And for DoorDash to hold that over their head, geez, there's like a couple stories in this one I didn't realize. On August 1st, DoorDash announced that it would acquire Caviar, the food delivery subsidy of Square, in a $410 million deal, which, by the way, Uber was originally going to acquire them, but apparently was outbid by like $8 million. So I honestly don't know what was worse at this point. Square happens to be run by Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey, who splits his time between the two companies. Caviar employees say they were informed of the acquisition 10 minutes before the rest of the world knew and were offered salary packages that do not properly compensation for lost benefits such as Square's 401k match and those who were near the 1-year mark before they could earn Square shares. Of course, you're not going to get those deals. DoorDash doesn't like paying. Have you been paying attention to any of my videos or any of Pete's videos or anything? DoorDash likes to steal tips. If they are stealing tips from the drivers, they will not give you your compensation packages or your 401k. The employees also claimed their health insurance would be discontinued and they would be re-enrolled under DoorDash's benefits package, meaning they would have to restart their 2019 deductibles more than halfway through the year. Caviar staff were told they must sign their offers by August 19th, and there was no option to negotiate the terms of the new offer. So by the time this goes up, this was a couple days ago. This was a couple days ago for the deadline. It is unclear how many people this letter represents, though an anonymous Caviar member tells The Verge that the group is made up of the majority of non-management employees. According to Crunchbase, Caviar employs between 100 and 250 people. The group is requesting that Square and DoorDash renegotiate their transition packages to include a better explanation of salary calculations, and the group wants to be given until mid-September to make a decision on the offers, which I think is fair. These are big decisions. They should have time to work on them and decide what they want to do. The Move My Caviar employee signals that internal activism within Silicon Valley companies is spreading beyond Google. At the search giant, an upswell of employee actions has created a movement in the tech industry to better hold employers accountable and to demand more of a voice with regard to employee treatment and types of work that tech companies force employees to engage in. In a feature published yesterday, Wired's Natasha Tiku explains that Google long welcomed a culture of dissent and animated internal debate, which ultimately began boiling over to the public view and increasingly ensnaring Google leadership around the same time as the 2016 election. In the past year, Google employees have organized walkouts and other forms of protest to call attention to the company's handling of SH allegations, discriminatory labor practices, YouTube's policy decisions regarding HP, and its participation in Project Dragonfly, a censored search product targeted at the Chinese market, which I totally dislike. For the record, maybe I'll talk about Project Dragonfly sometime because that thing kind of scares me, to be honest. This approach, which involves applying immense internal pressure through public letters, walkouts, and other forms of activism, activism, I thought the game company for a second there, has spread to Amazon and Microsoft, particularly as these two companies work with the U.S. government on defense projects and federal immigration enforcement. It's also reverberating beyond tech to places like the video game industry. In this case, employees at Caviar are wrestling with the realization that in the absence of a proper labor union for tech workers, employers can mistreat workers and there is little to no recourse available beyond leaving the company. Now they're demanding more. The Caviar deal was negotiated with people considerations top of mind, and every single Caviar team member received an offer. This is an unusual outcome in an M&A transition of this size. Keeping the Caviar team together and ensuring every single person received an offer was a major focus for Square. Square tells The Verge. Here's the thing. If the employees were the ones this was made for, why didn't you factor them into the decision-making process, Square? Jack Dorsey's an idiot, by the way. I don't like him. Employment offers for the public companies and private companies are different by nature. Each offers different benefits and different upside potential, and we understand that it's a personal decision whether employees accept their new offers. Yeah, but they're all, it's a personal decision, of course, but it's kind of like hey, we got bought, and you can either take this crummy new deal or you can just quit and walk away and not get anything. Yeah, that's usually how it's offered. Caviar employees did not say what they plan to do if DoorDash and Square do not agree to re-enter negotiations, which is looking to be the case. So yeah, already getting screwed by DoorDash's purchase. And by the way, DoorDash's benefits plan, their 401k, whatever they decide to do, I can guarantee you it will not be as good as Caviar. Because for all the complaining that we're doing right now, Square does pay their employees well, and they do offer good benefits. I have heard nothing but good things at Square Cash. One of the reasons I actually use Square Cash primarily over Venmo. I actually don't like Venmo very much, to be perfectly honest. And there was a reason I think Caviar worked as well as it did, because Square Cash, as much as I don't like Jack Dorsey, he understands how businesses work, he understands how the world is, and so that's why they did things like, you are told up front how much money you are making on this order, and you are told how long the trip will be, because they knew if the drivers would be true independent contractors. They have to be honest about all of this. DoorDash, of course, feels no shame in that, and I think, that system's going to go away pretty much completely. I'm kind of wondering now, though, since I'm still technically a Caviar driver, do I become a DoorDash driver again? Like, do I get back on the DoorDash platform, or do all the people who were doing Caviar that weren't on DoorDash? Yeah, I don't know. So anyway, I feel very, very bad for all the DoorDash employees. But this is what the future's going to look like. Apparently, there's only room for so many of these app-based delivery companies. And as a side note, I kind of wonder what's going to happen once the restaurants start getting involved in all this. This is from TechCrunch. Domino launches e-bike delivery to compete with Uber Eats and DoorDash. Domino's will start using custom electric bikes for pizza delivery through a partnership with Rad Power Bikes as it aims to become more competitive with on-demand apps like DoorDash, Grubhub, and Uber Eats. Hundreds of e-bikes will be deployed across corporate-owned stores later this year in Baltimore, Houston, Miami, and Salt Lake City, the company said Tuesday. The e-bike announcement comes as Domino's, which specializes in pizzas, faces increasing competition from on-demand delivery apps like Uber Eats that offer customers far more choice. Domino's could never offer enough menu item options to compete with DoorDash or Uber Eats, but it can compete on service and delivery bikes. So look, we're not going to read the whole thing because that's pretty self-explanatory, and the rest of the article is pretty much them saying how great this is going to be. But look at that. Domino's is getting in on e-delivery. They are, which means more buyouts like this are going to happen. I don't know if we can actually have an Uber Eats, a Postmates, and a DoorDash when you have Domino's and Pizza Hut and Burger King. When you have McDonald's, when you have all these companies doing their own delivery service and likely offering frequent buyer points. I mean, here's the thing. If you, for example, say you want McDonald's delivered, and McDonald's says, okay, but you collect points when you buy it through our app, which can lead towards like a free side of fries at one point. Well, you're going to just buy it from McDonald's then. You're not going to do it through Postmates and Uber Eats. I suspect another company is going to get bought out. In fact, I wouldn't be too surprised if Postmates and DoorDash merges in the future, because as Uber Eats continues to grow, they're definitely going to want to do it. Or maybe Lyft will buy Postmates or DoorDash because Lyft will want to grow their stock. They're a publicly traded company now, and they might want to get into the... I'm kind of surprised Lyft never even attempted to get into the food delivery business, considering how profitable it is. So who knows what the future holds, but if you work for one of these companies, be prepared for something like this to happen, because one day you're probably going to wake up, the company will be bought, and you will be left with a very, very crummy severance package. However, I am going to end it there. What says all of you guys? Do you agree? Do you disagree? I would love to know. Comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe. If you enjoy my videos, consider becoming a Patreon member. It's totally optional, of course, but even as little as $1 a month goes a long way to helping the channel run smoothly, and you get access to my Patreon's exclusive blog. If gas prices are getting just a little down, check out the Get Upside app below. It's totally free, but you get cash back on every gas purchase. If you want more content from me that's not rideshare related, check me out at Kevin T. Rodriguez, the Apptrepreneur Vlogs, and Autograph Hound YouTube channels. And finally, if you want to talk to me or other fellow delivery drivers out there, check us out at the Apptrepreneur Hangouts on Facebook. And as always, fillet responsibly. Have a good one.